here, Mr. Somi. All right, so we have someone else who's joining us at the table this afternoon. Dr. Precious Uwagbai is here also this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Great to have you here. You're welcome. Welcome. And of course, every time I go away, there's always an addition to the family. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And welcome back. Please accept our condolences.
It is well.
And welcome to the family.
I like the fact that you're welcoming.
Because I lost mine in 1994.
Oh, so, you mean that family?
Yeah.
Oh,
there are different families, you know.
You know, this is a whole new experience. And I don't even know where the strength comes from, because, you know, like every single day I'm expecting to just sleep and maybe like I just fade. You know, sometimes it gets to that point where you just want to deny what you're going through. But then I open my eyes and then I'm alive again. And then I realize that being able to even open your eyes and be alive is a gift in itself. And I have to appreciate that, okay? Death is a debt everybody owes. One day it will be your turn, my turn. No, that's the truth. So the only thing you actually have is now, like right now. Our topics for this afternoon, and we're starting with a very controversial one, which is submission versus obedience. What is the difference? All right, now this
rule, their natural rule, and there will be peace in the home.
Okay. All right. What you say, Dr. Precious?
Okay. For me, I love what Mr. Somi has said. But you see, obedience is following instructions, following orders, while submission is yielding to authority. You are yielding. You see, you cannot tell me you are submissive until I understand your capacity to handle things. When you see a powerful woman, there are women who are very powerful. Now, when you see a powerful woman yielding to the instructions of her husband, meanwhile, she has the capacity to say, I don't want to do this. Let me give you an example, very practical example. You just came back from the Igbo land. You could have said, I don't want to go. You have the power, you have the capacity to fend for yourself. But because family is involved, you yielded. That's submission.
That's submission.
Yes.
Okay.
But obedience is, you are under a control. It's like a military rule. You have no other option. You either obey or obey. So following an instruction or following a command is obedience.
Is obedience.
And when it comes to relationships or the family front, men are very quick to say the woman has to submit.
But then you know, it's a thin and a very fine line between submission, what you've described, and obedience. Really?
That's why I want to draw the line here. You see, God knows that the most difficult assignment for a man is to love. That's why he said, men, love your wife.
Not only love, cherish.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is great. Let's not skip that part of the scripture.
You love it or cherish it?
Cherish.
Can I do this topic for you tomorrow?
Yes. You have to love and cherish. Yes.
We cherish all of you and we love you all also. And then God also knows that the most difficult assignment for the women is to submit. So that's why he said, submit to your husband. He's not saying become a scapegoat. What he's saying is, I know you have your own will to do some certain things, but you have to learn to yield. There must be a yielding, and it must come from your heart. Now listen, this is why I draw the line. If you love somebody, yielding to the person's authority becomes natural. But if there is no love, that's when you struggle to obey and submit and live with it. So don't marry somebody you will not yield to.
Okay.
That's just the bottom
Thank you so
line.
much, Dr. Precious. All right, now let's go to the video that started this conversation on social media. Is it only in terms of money, having money or not having money? Is that what determines whether a woman is actually submissive to the husband or not?
Well, for me, I don't think it's all about money. You know, in the Bible times, there was nothing like financial capacity. At that time, they did basically business, buying and selling of that's trade by barter. And but now the time and tides has changed. If you check around majorly, people are respected by virtue of the money they have. and people are disregarded by virtue of the money they don't have. And a wise man once said, when it's time to speak in cash, if you speak in tongues, you'll be kicked out. So it's important we understand where this woman is coming from. She's speaking from the 21st century mentality. And there are some women right now who are very powerful. They feel, if I need a man, I can get it. So why submit to one? But it's one-sided. Submission should be all-encompassing. That's my take on that.
Mr. Somi.
You know, it's like when a poor man said he's worshiping God, he can, of course, you don't have anything to eat. You always have to pray and lie down and kneel down and pray to God to give you something to eat. But what do I say that if you want to talk about worshiping God, if you have all the wealth, all the wherewithal, now to come down and worship God, that's when you say, yes, this person actually loves God.
Okay.
That's true, but I love what Mr. Somi has said, and if you look at the foundation of where he's coming from, you would know that he's an impactor of people. He's speaking from the part where it doesn't matter where you are as a man, you can still do something. So no matter how downcasted the man may be, the woman should submit. But let me take it from a logical perspective.
Okay.
A perspective whereby money reveals the true character of the person. When a man, that's why it's always good to marry somebody you love. Marry somebody that is your friend. Because situations can change and the woman can become wealthier than the man. That's where you test submission. Let me tell you what I wrote down. I wrote something down. I said, the litmus test for humility is not poverty, it's prosperity.
Yes.
You don't test humility by poverty. Oh, he's a poor, humble man. No. You test humility with prosperity. And just like you said, when a man is wealthy and he still comes down to worship God, then you know he loves God. In the same vein, when a woman is prosperous and still submits to the husband's authority, then it means she's yielding. It means she's a good woman. So in the first instance, the foundation has to be sacrosanct. If the foundation is destroyed, I'm telling you, thinking about submitting when he has nothing is an aftermath effect, because you would not marry someone who has nothing in the first place. You must have seen something. Something took you there. That thing that motivated you, stay with that thing.
Can still keep you going.
Yes.
You know, it can still keep you going because the world has gotten to the point. You know, you were talking about the 21st century.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's a century where everything has been monetized. Taking Nigeria, for instance, since the 1999 when General Obasanjo, you know, became the president, and he brought up monetization policy. It was not actually him per se. It is a current that was flowing, you know, a vogue of the world. You know, so everything got monetized. But it's beyond what you can afford, the material things that you can afford. It's about your makeup. If everybody plays his or her own role, there will be peace in the home.
Regardless of whether the other party is playing their role or not.
Nobody stays in a position forever.
Okay.
Somebody might be down now because I know there's something in a man. There's something in a man or a man that makes them want to achieve. You hardly will see out of 10 men, maybe it's only 1 or 2 that will just be, you know, just want to relax and say, look, every man I know wants to conquer. That's the thing. If you put 10 women here and put 10 men to get a particular thing done, you find that over 8 to 9 men will get that thing done.
True.
But some women will say, I don't tire, Joe. Just, you know, relax. But that is might distract them. The men are well focused when they want to achieve, as far as taking care of their family and living the good life.
Okay.
But I feel that the man himself should also know that there's a limit to what you can. I mean, don't rob yourself.
What do you think, Dr. Precious?
Well, I love what Mr. Somi has said, and you know an ambassador of peace when you find one. He's trying to make peace in that family. If you ask,
that's your title.
Yeah, for peace. Okay.
Okay, but if you come in from my perspective, that's preposterous. For a man to be demanding the salary of his wife and calling it submission is an appalling act.
That is
It shouldn't be heard of. That's enslaving. Thank you, sir. I feel that what the woman should do is look out for somebody he respects. Practically, I'm speaking from experience now, not a family member and not his boss at the office. Somebody he respects, maybe a senior friend, maybe a family friend, someone you both respect that he will not be ashamed of, or you will not be ashamed of, and then let her talk to the person, a mutual person that you both respect. Let the balance be created. Because no matter what she does, if she starts giving a part of the salary, it may become a problem. The man will want to know, what are you doing with your salary? A great man should not be involved victimizing or checking what his wife is doing with the money. What he should do is check what she's doing, because see, women are naturally incubators. If you give a woman a house, she'll make it a home. If you give her sperm cells, she'll make it a baby. Whatever you give to them, they multiply. A man testified on Instablog a while ago how he rewarded his wife with 15,000 for doing something well, and the next minute the woman went out and bought things for the house and did shoppings, and he said he was going to double that money. What are we saying? If you have actually said I do to the right person, you won't have all those things. That's why the red flag is necessary. We need to look out for them in the time of courtship. And I'll close by saying this: courtship time is a time for inter-study, inter-relationship. These days it's intersex. So we go, we have it, and we think we are getting to know them. Money,
and then you leave the real issues. You don't discuss them.
Now, if you check,
very true.
If you check what Bishop, Dr. Dagi Wadmio wrote, a medical doctor from Ghana, about the 10 major problem areas of relationships, number one is money.
Yes, money.
And he spent almost 5 chapters talking about money and people's experience.
It is that relevant, you know, to most relationships. But I don't know, for that person who's asking about the money, submitting salary and submission thing, you have gotten the advice of the people at the table. It needs to be addressed, and when I say addressed, like, you need to talk it through. But where in a situation where the man insists and puts down his foot, and that is the only condition for peace in the home, well, in true submission, the woman has to reconsider, because that is what submission is at the end of the day. Sometimes submission to a lot of men, you know, means subjection. Do you get what I mean? It's like, I'm completely serious. I'm sorry, honey. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I'm saying the truth. My husband will come home with his full salary and just give it to me. You know, like, I'm not joking. Until he got wiser. I don't know, you know. But I'm serious, but I know there are men who do that. Who do that. So why are we not talking about that? Is that a problem as well?
You're a special woman.
That's
why you saw
it has to do with trust.
Yeah.
Trust issues.
Yes, there's a level of trust.
Another thing you must know is that the negative sells more. People don't talk about the positive things, but the negative ignites.
True.
Again, friends and, you know, peers and all that. Also, because if a woman gives her salary to the husband and a friend
hears it,
say, you know, those kind of a thing. Same thing for the man. Say, are you a woman rapper? People should block their ears from the naysayers. Whether you are doing anything you're doing in your family, let it be between you and your husband.
Stay in your family.
Let's stay there.
I miss you all too. Thank you. It's good to be back. Okay, so on this issue of submission, actually, if we go by the biblical injunction, wives submit, children obey. There's a difference between submission and obedience, really, even though it is a very thin line, okay? Because when you submit too, sometimes you are actually obeying a man. But then obedience comes directly with an order or a command, like Dr. Precious rightly said, while submission is you actually yielding to the will of that person you're married to. Sometimes it might not be agreeable to you, but you just have to, okay, just to show respect and to show that, you know, you are still that invested in that marriage. And submission comes with no condition. That is the truth. Whether the man is loving you or not, whether he's cherishing you or not, you still have to play your role, and your role as a wife starts with submission, okay?
Consider subscribing to my channel. It's free and it's fun. You can join the squad and you won't miss out on any of my future uploads.